Everyone, this is Praveen Kumar, and today I'm going to talk about a movie called Slumdog Millionaire. And this is a movie based on an 18 years old boy who wins 1 crore in a live television show. And this movie is released in 2008, August of 30, and this is directed by Danny. And as I said, this movie is based on an 18-year-old boy who's from a slum who wins 1 crore. Technically, it is 2 crore from a live television show. And it is an question and answer game in which he wants money for every correct answers what he says. In this movie, I'm going to talk about the originality and novelty of the story. As I said, this movie starts from a good connection with the audience, like good originality, which shows how slums work and how people in slums live and the livelihood of slum peoples. This is the way the movie starts, and as in my point of view, this movie travels in a 3 line. Like, first line is the boy who answers for every questions, and for the second line, for every questions he'll give one past, his past life, how he works. And the third line is the police will investigate this boy how he knows the answer for every question. That is how this movie is going to be. And I'll come to my topic, the originality and novelty of this Slumdog Millionaire. And the innovation native structure is stories unfold through quiz show format. Each question triggers a flashback from his points. This keeps the audience engaged by linking life experience with knowledge. And the unique use of this flashback is flashbacks are meaningful, not any random flashbacks is added in this movie. Every memory explain how James the correct answer, like James is a character and hero of this movie, and the past and present are seamlessly connected. Like I said, the first, second and third line are seamlessly connected, and it is traveled through parallel connections. And James is an uneducated slum boy, not a typical hero. uh, and as it comes to music is done by A.R. Rahman, who wells good in Indian culture movie, which is blended good in the story. And the music mix of Indian sounds with modern beats, and sound support the story intent to be stopped. So the sound and song of the music is well blended with the storytelling of the director, and the emotions of the character which is played in that, and the message about the destiny. The movie show how life experience shape our future, and success comes of courage and beliefs, not just by luck. And the Indian story with the global appearance, thought based in India. People all over the world enjoyed this movie because of the connect because all over the movie because this movie is connected with all over the world. And as we all know, the strong emotional connect, the character is felt real, the audience felt happy, sad and hopeful with Jamie. And fresh and different movie. The story may be simple, but the way it is told is new, and that is what makes Slumdog Millionaire special. And we all know, as this movie won many and lots of awards in this movie fests. So that is all about my topic, and rest will be explained by others. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Sindhu GK. Today I'll be sharing a small review in this video about the movie Slumdog Millionaire. When I first watched Slumdog Millionaire, I honestly thought it was just another movie about a poor boy becoming rich. But as the story unfolded, I realized it's so much more than that. What really makes this movie strong is not the money Jamal wins. It's journey that gets him there. So I'll be sharing the strengths of the movie based on how it made me feel and what stayed with me long after the film ended. One of the biggest strengths of Slumdog Millionaire is how the story is narrated. The movie doesn't just tell us Jamal's life from the beginning to end, as we all have watched. Instead, it takes us back and forth between the game, show, and his past. Every question Jamal answers connects to a moment from his childhood, sometimes painful, sometimes innocent. And that's what keeps us hooked. As viewers, we are not just watching a quiz show, we are slowly uncovering why Jamal knows what he knows. It makes the storytelling feel personal, emotional, and surprisingly intelligent. Another thing that really stood out to me was how real the characters feel. Jamal isn't shown as a hero with superpowers. He's just a boy who has seen too much, suffered too much, and but still believes in love. Salim, his brother, is even more interesting. He's not completely good or bad, he's conflicted. His choices show how survival can sometimes push people to make wrong decisions. And Latika, she represents quite strength. She doesn't speak much, but her silence says everything about fear, endurance, and hope. Because of this, movie never feels fake. It feels like we are watching the real lives, not fictional characters. This movie hits you emotionally but in a very genuine way. The love story between Jamal and Latika isn't dramatic or glamorous. There are no big romantic speeches. Instead, it's about waiting, searching, and never giving up on someone, even when life keeps pulling you apart. Scenes of the childhood loss, exploitation, and separation stays with you. But the movie doesn't try to manipulate emotions. It simply shows reality. The honesty is what makes the emotional impact so strong. One strength I truly appreciated is how the movie shows the harsh side of society, especially poverty and inequality. It talks about life in slums, child exploitation, corruption, survival at any cost. But what important is it doesn't portray poor people as helpless or ignorant. Jamal's intelligence comes from his life experiences. The movie tells us the isn't limited to classrooms. Despite all the darkness, the movie never feels hopeless. There is always the underlying message that life can still surprise you at any time. Technically, the movie is very strong. The camera work feels raw and real, almost like we are running through the street with the real characters. The background music adds emotion without overpowering the scene. A.R. Rahman's music blends perfectly with the story, especially in the emotional moments, and the pacing, fast, energetic, yet controlled, keeps the audience engaged till the very end. All these elements together make the movie immersive, not just watchable. So for me, the biggest strength of Slumdog Millionaire is how it makes us feel. It reminds us that our past shapes us, struggles teach us lesson, hope can survive even in the worst situation. It's not just about movie. It's about winning. It's not about winning money. It's a movie about winning life despite everything. And that's why Slumdog Millionaire remains powerful, memorable, and deeply human.
Hi all, I'm Riddhi Ravikumar and I would be discussing about the weaknesses or areas of improvement in the movie Slumdog Millionaire. So, beginning with the most discussed criticism of the movie is the stereotypical portrayal of India. So, the movie largely focuses on slums, violence, corruption, crimes, begging mafias, as well as poverty. So, these realities do exist in India, but presenting them as a dominant image definitely creates a negative stereotype. So, this portrayal can make international audience believe that poverty defines India entirely, which is far, far away from the truth. So, moving on, we have an oversimplified rags to riches narrative. So, the movie follows a classic storyline where a poor boy ends up winning a massive fortune. This storyline is emotionally satisfying, but somewhere it is overly simplified. So, Jamal's success in the quiz is shown as a result of coincidence or luck rather than intelligence or preparation. So, every correct answer in the film links to a past trauma or life experience. This makes audience believe that success is almost magical rather than being earned. So, as a result, the film promotes the idea that destiny alone can change lives, ignoring systematic barriers like educational inequality and social mobility. So, another major weakness in the movie is the Western lens. So, Slumdog Millionaire mainly shows India through a Western perspective. This means that the story is told in a way that will impress or emotionally affect the foreign audience. So, because of this, the movie majorly focuses on poverty, violence, and crimes, and less on the normal everyday lives of Indian people. So, all these scenes in the film make the film look dramatic and shocking, but they do not show the full reality of India. So, the problem is not that these are shown, but they are shown too much. While other aspects like education, culture, family values, and progress are ignored. So, this can make international viewers think that India is only about struggle and hardship and make them emotionally overwhelming and make the foreign audience emotionally overwhelmed. So, instead of presenting like a balanced, realistic picture, the movie fits well into the Westerners' perspective, and I feel it's quite biased in that way. So moving on, we are talking about the underdeveloped characters. So, despite strong performances in the movie, some characters remain underdeveloped. So, Jamal, who is the protagonist, he is mostly passive. He reacts rather than actively shaping his journey. So, his emotional depth and personal growth, as well as his decision making skills, are not explored. And one particular character that I feel is very weak is the character of Latika. So she is portrayed mainly as a victim who is silent and helpless and dependent on male characters for rescue. So she lacks any ambition or any meaningful dialogue, which makes her character feel quite incomplete. Even Salim, who has the potential to be complex, is reduced to a predictable contrast instead of being fully explored. So the other major weakness in the movie is emotional manipulation. So the movie heavily relies on manipulating emotionally to engage the audience. So scenes which involve violence against children, betrayal, suffering and trauma are very intense. So while emotions are an important part of storytelling, Slumdog Millionaire sometimes prioritizes emotional shock over subtle storytelling. So instead of allowing viewers to naturally connect to characters, the film pushes emotions forcefully, which can feel overwhelming sometimes. So this reduces the impact of genuine emotional moments by overusing suffering as a tool. Moving on, I'm sure that everybody who watched Slumdog Millionaire could have predicted the ending, right? So it has a predictable ending. So from early on, the film makes it clear that Jamal will succeed. The narrative structure leaves little room for suspense, making the ending very predictable. So the final victory, reunion and celebratory tone all follow a familiar formula. While satisfying, it lacks originality and realism. So I feel it could have included more suspense and thriller instead of being very predictable. Talking about the limited social depth, so finally the movie lacks social analysis. It touches on themes like poverty, corruption, and inequality, but does not explore the root cause. So, complex systems such as education, governance, and economic inequality are used more as background elements rather than topics for meaningful discussion. As a result, the film feels emotionally powerful, but it is socially very shallow. So, to conclude, Slumdog Millionaire is a visually engaging and emotionally intense film, but it has several areas of improvement. Its stereotypical portrayal, oversimplified narrative, Western biases, character development which are weak, and emotional manipulation and predictable ending could have been better, and it could have represented India in a balanced reality. So it is a more nuanced, realistic, and socially grounded approach could have elevated the film beyond emotional spectacle alone. That's it. Thank you.
Hello, sir. This is Dia Miranda, and today I'll be talking about the key learnings and takeaways from the movie The Slumdog Millionaire. Though this movie appears to be a story about the luck and the game show, this movie strongly reflects on the themes relevant to the business communication, management, ethics, and leadership. Through Jamal Malik's journey, the film teaches us the valuable lessons about the resilience, experience based learning, and integrity. So let's hop on to the key learnings and takeaways from this movie. The first thing is learning through life experiences. One of the most important lessons from the Slumdog Millionaire is that learning not only comes from the formal education. Jamal answers the quiz questions not because he studied the textbooks, but because he experienced the life very deeply. Every answer is connected to a real life incident or from his past. So, coming for the business relevance thing, in management, the physical exposure, the real life challenges, and hands on experiences often teach us more than the theory explains. So, second learning is the purpose driven method. Jamal does not join the game just for the money. His real motivation is to reconnect with Latika. This emotional purpose keeps him very focused and determined. So, coming to the business relevant, the employees and leaders perform better when they are driven by the purpose and not just the financial incentives. So, the third thing is communication beyond words. The movie shows that the communication is not limited to the spoken words. Jamal and Latika, they communicate through actions, silence, emotions, and expressions. In business communication, like non-verbal cues, empathy, and emotional intelligence are equally important as the verbal communication. The fourth thing is social inequality and hidden talent. So the film highlights how society underestimates people based on their life background. Jamal's intelligence is ignored because of his social status. The next thing is decision making under pressure. So Jamal answers very difficult questions under the extreme pressure. He stays calm through his trust and instincts. So managers must make decisions in high pressure situations. Confidence and clarity are critical leadership skills if we just take this as the business relevance. Next is ethics and integrity matter. Even when he is accused of cheating, Jamal sticks to the truth. So he refuses to lie or manipulate the system, and his honesty ultimately becomes his biggest strength. And the most important learning and takeaway from this movie is the power of purpose and motivation. So Jamal doesn't participate in who wants to be a millionaire for the money alone. So his main motivation is to reconnect with Latika, and that emotional purpose keeps him growing even when the odds are against him. And also there's a factor about the social inequality and the opportunity gap. So this movie highlights that how talent exists everywhere, but the opportunities doesn't. So Jamal is intelligent, but the society assumes he is incapable because of his background. So coming to the last point is luck favors preparation. So the film suggests that Jamal's success looks like luck, but it is actually the result of the preparedness shaped by the future. So, to conclude the key learnings and takeaways from the movie The Slumdog Millionaire, uh, it's just not a story about the luck or love, but the powerful lesson on resilience, ethics, communication, and experienced learning. So, from an MBA and the business communication perspective, the movie teaches us that success is shaped by then experiences, values, and purpose, not just the formal education or privilege. Thank you.
Hello, sir. I am Shruti, and I'll be covering the oral assessment and final verdict part of the movie Slumdog Millionaire. Slumdog Millionaire, directed by Danny Boyle, is a deeply moving film that combines realism, emotion, romance, and hope to present a powerful story of survival and destiny. At its surface, the film follows Jamal Malik, a young man from slums of Mumbai who participates in the television game show Kaun Banega Crorepati. However, at deeper level, the film is not about money or luck, but about life experiences, love, and resilience in the face of extreme hardship. One of the film's greatest strengths is it's a non-linear narrative structure. The story moves between Jamal's present on the game show and his childhood memories in the slums. Each question he answers is linked to specific incident from his life, reinforcing the idea that knowledge is not limited to formal education. Jamal's life experiences, shaped by poverty, loss, and survival, becomes his greatest source of wisdom. This storytelling technique keeps the audience engaged while making the film emotionally meaningful. The characters from the emotional backbone of the film, Jamal, represents innocence, honesty, and unwavering determination. Despite facing immense suffering, he remains morally upright and hopeful. In contrast, his brother Salim represents internal conflict and moral compromise. Salim's choices reflect how desperation and ambition can push individuals towards violence and corruption. Their relationship shows two different responses to the same environment, adding psychological depth to the narrative. Latika, however, is the emotional heart of the film. She is not merely a romantic interest, but a symbol of hope, endurance, and silent strength. From childhood, Latika is subject to repeated exploitation and control, reflecting the harsh realities faced by women in impoverished societies. Despite having limited dialogue, her emotions are powerfully conveyed through expressions and actions. Latika represents loyalty and emotional resilience, never losing faith in Jamal even when they separated for years. Most importantly, Jamal's motivation for joining the game show is not wealth, but the hope that Latika will see him once on television and find him again. In this way, Latika becomes a driving force of the entire story. The film also provides a raw, unfiltered portrayal of poverty and social inequality. It exposes the dark realities of slums life, including child exploitation, religious violence, and systemic corruption. However, the film balances the harshness with the moments of joy, friendship, and the hope. This balance prevents the story from becoming overly depressing and instead makes it emotionally impactful and inspiring. The music and the background score by A.R. Rahman play a vital role in enhancing the film's emotional depth. The fusion of India and Western musical elements reflects the film's global appeal. Songs like Jai Ho elevate the final moments of the film, transforming the ending in a celebration of survival, love, and victory against all the odds. Cinematically, Slumdog Millionaire uses fast paced editing, handheld camera movements, and vibrant visuals to capture the chaos and every energy of Mumbai. This immense style draws the audience into Jamal's world, making his struggles feel immediate and real. While some critics argue that the film presents poverty from the Western perspective, it still succeeds in raising global awareness about inequality and human resilience. Final verdict in conclusion, Slumdog Millionaire is a powerful and emotionally rich film that goes beyond conventional storytelling. Through strong performance, innovative narratives, structure, meaningful social commentary, and unforgettable music and film delivers a message of hope and resilience. Overall, Slumdog Millionaire is a compelling and inspiring film that leaves a long-lasting impact, making it deserving of its critical and global recognition. Thank you.
Slumdog Millionaire is not just a movie about a quiz show. It is a powerful story about life, survival, love, and hope. This film follows Jamal Malik, a boy who grows up in the slums of Mumbai with almost nothing. No education, no parents, no security. Yet against all odds, he reaches the final stage of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. This immediately raises one powerful question for the audience. How can someone with nothing still rise so high? The strongest message of Slumdog Millionaire is that knowledge does not come only from classrooms. Jamal's intelligence comes from his life experiences. Every answer he gives in the quiz show is connected through a message or a moment of struggle, pain, or a survival. This movie clearly shows the real learning happens through life itself, and even the most difficult experiences can shape our future in meaningful ways. So, what's the destiny of the movie? This idea is beautifully captured in one of the most powerful lines of the movie. It is written. This quote reflects the theme of destiny. It suggests that nothing in Jamal's life happened without a reason. His suffering, though painful, was not meaningless. It was preparing him for what was yet to come. Love as a motivation. Another emotional driving force in the movie is Jamal's love for Latika. His love gives him strength, purpose, and direction. While his brother Salim chooses shortcuts and power, Jamal Malik chooses honesty and perseverance. This contrast shows that true success is not just about money, it is about staying true to one's values. So, what's hope in hardship? This movie shows harsh realities such as poverty, violence, corruption, and child exploitation. Instead of making audience feel hopeless, this Slumdog Millionaire movie inspires hope. For the audience, Slumdog Millionaire creates a deep emotional impact. Viewers connect strongly with Jamal's journey and feel empathy for his struggles. This film opens the eyes of global audiences to the realities of the slum life while showing resilience, courage, and humanity. This emotional journey is summed up in another powerful quote in the film. This is our destiny. Jamal's success is not guided by luck alone, but by faith, love, and emotional strength. This movie also encourages the audience to reflect on their own lives. It makes us question how often we underestimate ourselves because of our background, failure, or lack of confidence. Slumdog Millionaire sends a powerful message that every person has an untapped potential, and sometimes success comes from trusting our journey rather than comparing ourselves to others. This self reflection is what makes the film stay in the audience minds and even after it ends. What makes the audience impact even stronger is the way the film balances the reality with the hope. While it shows painful truth, it never leaves the viewer feeling helpless. Instead, it helps confidence, gives courage, and reminding us that difficult beginnings do not determine our endings. Ultimately, Slumdog Millionaire motivates the audience to trust their journey, value their experience, and never underestimate their potential. This film stays in our mind not because of the prize money, but because it teaches the perseverance and belief can turn the most challenging life into a meaningful story. To conclude the lasting power of the Slumdog Millionaire, it lies in the motivation it creates within the audience. This film reminds us that no experience in life is meaningless. Every hardship, failure, and struggle becomes a part of who we are, and sometimes every experience becomes the reason for our success. This emotional impact of the film is strong because it makes the audience reflect on their own lives. It challenges the belief that success depends not only on education, wealth, or privilege. It shows that resilience, honesty, and belief in oneself play a far greater role. To conclude, the lasting power of the Slumdog Millionaire, it lies in the motivation it creates within the audience. This film reminds us that no experience in life is meaningless. Every hardship, failure, and struggle becomes a part of who we are, and sometimes every experience becomes the reason for our success. This emotional impact of the film is strong because it makes the audience reflect on their own lives. It challenges the belief that success depends not only on education, wealth, or privilege. It shows that resilience, honesty, and belief in oneself play a far greater role. Slumdog Millionaire reminds us that our struggles are not the weaknesses, they are the experiences that shape our strength.
Till I'm 50, see my city go quick to the pretty.